Hey YouTube, this is Richard, founder of ShortTermRentalSecrets.com and Airbnb Superhost, and I just got back from sunny South Beach in Miami. Charles and I stayed at an Airbnb. The primary purpose is to learn from a superhost, see what we like and what we didn't like, and we want to go ahead and share with you some of that feedback so that we can all benefit from our experience. So let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is really the beach vibe. And this superhost did a really good job incorporating things like shells and the colors on the walls, and you just felt like you were part of South Beach in Miami and part of a beach community, and I thought that that was really welcoming and inviting, and it showed well in the listing, and then in reality when we showed up we felt it as well. So I thought he did a really good job of decorating and capturing sort of the beach vibe. So the second thing that this superhost did particularly well was on the amenity side. He really understood his audience. He knew what guests were coming to use his place for, which is located a block and a half away from the beach, and he had the amenities for us. So he had things like beach chairs and beach umbrellas and beach towels and that little Kadima game, and so he understood why people would come to his place and rent it, and he had all the amenities there, and we really appreciated it. It saved us from having to go shopping and spending $100 and lugging it and wasting our time. It was right there in the storage closet, and that was really thoughtful and much appreciated. So the third thing that caught my attention was he had a safe in the home where you could put your passport or your cash or your keys or whatever it was, your medicine. That's usually seen only in a hotel, and I've never thought about it for an Airbnb property of my own, and I've never seen it in one. I think it was really thoughtful, saying people might be traveling from Miami with passports and they want to guard that and not take it to the beach with them and not leave it at an Airbnb where like a random maid who I've never met stays. So let me put in a little safe and install it with batteries and show you how to change the code, much like you've seen at hotels. So look, nobody's perfect and we all have room to improve, and not only that, we have room to improve every single day. So some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about is a little bit nitpicky, and or might not be the case a week from now, but I'm just giving you my real life impressions, and I'm not being critical, I'm just sharing with you sort of what I saw. So the first thing that I thought was a little bit concerning was maintenance. The entire unit could have used a little bit more maintenance, and it just creates a first impression which isn't necessarily positive. And so some of the things I'll point to are the doorknob on the front door was really loose. It was like wiggly from years of, I guess, use, and not that hard to get that tightened up so that the very first impression when you walk into this Airbnb is positive and secure, as opposed to, like if this is loose and it's not that safe, what else is inside? And when we went inside, there was a few other items that were, could use a little bit of maintenance. Like some of the dining chairs were really rickety. They felt like they might collapse, and so it might be time to get new dining chairs, for instance. And I think this is important for people that host either remotely or have multiple properties, is you need to do periodic checks and go in and make sure that everything is the way that you want it to be, because the way that you outfitted it initially and the way that you left it the last time you were there changes as more guests go on. So again, not the end of the world, but it does create a first impression, and you want that first impression to be positive. The second thing was really inexcusable, and just going to tell you what it was. When I went into the master bedroom, the sheets were stained. Not a big stain, not a fresh stain, not a disgusting stain, but on white sheets, you're going to notice a stain just like we did, and it's just not that cool. And with white sheets, it's really easy to use OxyClean or bleach and get it out. So on the cleaning front, even though the rest of the home was spotless and I really thought it was super clean, it sort of yucked me out a little bit that the sheets had some stains. So the third item that I thought could be improved was there was no guidebook. Now, I don't know, I've been spending an awful lot of time and energy improving my guidebook and creating the guidebook tool. We filmed a video up here, go ahead and watch it. But I think it's really helpful to people to have a physical hard copy when you walk into a home that you've never been to walk around the home with and follow things. So for instance, we had difficulty figuring out the network name and the Wi-Fi password and making the sofa bed into a couch. We didn't know where anything was. And some of the information was in the Airbnb app, but then you have to stop what you're doing on your phone, whether it be watching a video or sending emails or whatever, and open the app, and then it's just not the same experience. I think there's something about a physical guidebook that's super helpful, so much so that we spent a lot of time and energy, and I'll admit it's front and center in my mind, but zero guidebook, zero Wi-Fi name written onto the modem or the router. That's making it harder than it needs to be. And again, we're all about hospitality, making guests feel welcome, and I think thinking about somebody walking into your home that's never been there before and putting down the things that they need on a piece of paper is super helpful and polite and friendly, so I encourage that. So the fourth thing is something I've never encountered before, and I don't really understand why it occurred, but I'm going to speculate, so bear with me. In the instructions, it encouraged us to leave, well, it didn't encourage us, it told us to leave $80 cash for the cleaning team, and that's kind of a pain in the butt, right? I mean, I'm at the beach, I'm running business meetings and doing all sorts of things. The last thing I want to think about is running to go get exactly $80 and leave that for the maids. I understand why the maids would want to get paid cash, and I think that the host might be saving, I don't know, taxes or maybe some Airbnb fees. I'm not even sure if Airbnb charges fees to the guest and the host on cleaning fees. I don't know. Or maybe his cleaning team only will accept cash. I don't really understand the circumstances, but it's a disruption from the book on Airbnb app and then just check in, check out, and don't think about it. I had to actually physically go and get money out and remember to do it, and he was reminding me to do it, and it just seems sort of unnecessary and cumbersome, and it just was, to be perfectly frank, a pain in the ass. I don't think it's necessary, and I would discourage that. So I hope you found this review helpful. We're going to continue to do more of them as we travel. I think I'm learning, like that safe thing I think is really cool, seeing how people make their place the vibe and accessorize it, I hope is helpful for you as you think about your home and your guests. The guidebook, we've spent a lot of time. So in a nutshell, I hope you found this thing really helpful. We enjoyed filming it. Go ahead and like it, leave comments and feedback, and if you haven't subscribed, this is your opportunity to subscribe now. Thanks so very much, and happy hosting.